G'day folks, welcome to another edition of Talking Samford. Round 17 done and dusted, and we're getting so close to the finals. It's going to be a frantic finish for the last couple of spots for the finals. Daniel Menzel is here. G'day Menz.
Hazy, great to be here. And again, every week we don't know what results we're going to get, but there is no way we could have predicted what happens on this weekend just gone, round 17.
How's this for a stat? The last time there was a round with 2 draws we're not sure. We're trying to find that out, so we'll do some digging on that. But let's start with the iPerform Insight, and we'll start with one of those draws rather. South v Port, 15-7.97 to 14-13.97, an outrageous finish.
Was an outrageous finish. Port had their chances to put South Adelaide away. They had the extra 5 scoring shots at goal. South did come home strong and could have actually won it themselves, but it's an interesting result because if Port had won this game, it pretty much would have shored up their finals. They would be in. Instead, now they play against Centrals this week, needing to win to guarantee a spot in the finals. So it's very interesting what's happened with this result, as was the next game, which was West Adelaide versus Norwood. West Adelaide at home, 10-16-76, drew with Norwood as well, 11-10-76. Unfortunately, it means West Adelaide wins their 5th straight wooden spoon.
Which it doesn't seem like they're a last place side. They've been so close on so many occasions, and we've said for a long time, they're so close to knocking off a big side. Norwood has obviously had its struggles this year, but West Adelaide, even though it's on the bottom of the ladder, it still feels like the Bloods are heading in the right direction.
Yeah, they definitely are. And in terms of win-loss, you look at it, and Adam Hartley will look at it, that last year they had 3 wins, they've now got 3.5 wins. So for a side that's lost the likes of Tom Keogh, Caden Brand hasn't played at all this year. They've had a few guys go out as well. They've had experience from Logan Hill last season as well. So they've lost a lot of big names and a lot of depth. So to be able to win at least as many, if not more games than last season is definitely an improvement on last year.
This game was very, very interesting indeed. Sturt v Adelaide, of course, it was at Only Over. It looked like for the longest time that Sturt were going to knock off the Crows. Credit to Adelaide, they came back, got the job done with a seriously undermanned line.
11 listed players in this game for the Crows. So for them to come out and beat the Double Blues at Wigan Oval is incredibly impressive, and it probably is a sign of what we're going to see in the final series, that we've known they're a legitimate contender all season, but now they are almost the favourite to win it, because if they can do that with 11 listed players at Adelaide Oval, they're going to be hard to beat.
This game have made the race for the top 5 very interesting. North taking on Centrals. The Dogs got the job done by 2 points. Menz, it might have been the right time to play North though.
Yeah, it probably was this week. It was at Prospect, so you'd still back North in at home there, and Central's form away from home hasn't been great, but North Adelaide had Campbell Coon go out with suspension, Aaron Young was also out with injury, and Alex Spina didn't quite get up. So 3 of their most important players missed this game, which in the end definitely cost them, and they're going to hopefully get all 3 back for next week, because now what that means is North, Centrals and Port, all of them are vying for the last 2 spots in the top 5.
If 100 people put tips in this weekend, 100 of them predicted the Eagles to go down to Glenelg, and that's not what happened at all.
No, it's not. The Eagles, they had 13 less inside 50s, but it's good to see them kick 100 points. 16 goals 8, 104 to 12, 10, 82. It's the first time in 2 years the Eagles have kicked 100 points. So it's rather incredible. They kicked 100 points 5 times in the premiership season in 2021. So it was good to actually see the shackles lifted and see a bit of ball movement and some good ball movement at that club. And the Glenelg, look, I feel like it was one of those games, they're getting into finals, they're getting ready for finals. It was one that maybe they weren't quite on, and Liam McBean was also laid out. So it's definitely one that they won't be disappointed at, that maybe it's not the worst loss to have.
Let's have a look at the ladder now. We expect the Bays to finish it off and win the minor premiership. Top 3 is locked, as we know. 4th, 5th and 6th. This is a really interesting game. It's going to be a very interesting finish.
It is going to be a very interesting finish. We mentioned the wooden spoon was wrapped up with West and Glenelg. If they win, they finish top. But if they don't, Adelaide has every chance to jump ahead of them and take that minor premiership from them. But as you mentioned, Port, Centrals and North, this is incredible. Port, 8 wins, 1 draw, 8 losses, as you can see on the screen there, followed by Centrals 8 and 9 and North Adelaide 8 and 9 as well. The percentage difference between Centrals and North Adelaide is 0.51, which is roughly 10 points. So what we'll see this week is Centrals take on their game against Port Adelaide and North take on Sturt. So it's amazing that North Adelaide in 6th position, currently outside the 5, could lose this weekend and still play finals.
It's amazing, isn't it? All right, let's jump into our sample summary. Thanks to Rejuvenate Massage and Fitness. Our moment of the week, 26-minute mark of the game against Nord and the Bloods. Take us through it.
Yeah, incredible this. So at the 26-minute mark of the game between West Adelaide and Norwood, the game was tied. The scores were tied. Norwood went down, had a shot at goal, bounced into the goalpost. So it was a behind and put them a point in front. However, the scoreboard attendant at West Adelaide didn't put this up on the scoreboard. So the scores remained tied. On the scoreboard, West Adelaide eventually worked their way down the ground for Redfern to take a mark. About 40 out, the siren went. So he had a shot after the siren. The score still on the scoreboard said a draw. So people were thinking, okay, any score wins it from here. Other people were thinking, no, we'll definitely just kick the point that hasn't been put up. He comes in, just makes a distance, it's a behind. So then there's a lot of confusion after the siren as to have West Adelaide won the game? Did it definitely clear the line and so that it actually counts? Or is it a draw? In the end, it was a draw. It was a bit of a debacle, just like what happened at Adelaide Oval Saturday night. You wouldn't have wanted to be a West Adelaide fan or an Adelaide fan. You would have thought your teams won twice, and they didn't. So, very interesting moment of the week.
Yeah, right. You wouldn't want to be celebrating with Bloods and Crows fans in one venue. Talking point of the week, some really outrageous results in the end.
Oh, the Port draw against South Adelaide, followed by the Western Norwood draw. As you mentioned, the last time there was 2 draws, I'm not sure when that is. We'd love someone to look that up. It would have been a long time ago, if ever. But what that means is that the permutations around this weekend's standings is rather incredible. Port Adelaide go to Centrals. They need to win. If they lose, they still might make it if North can't knock off Sturt. But there's going to be coaches and team managers on the boundary line this weekend checking their phones as the game is going, hey, do we need to play for percentage here? So, for example, Centrals might be playing against Port Adelaide. They might be down by 3 goals with 5 minutes to go in the game, and they know that North Adelaide's down by 5 goals to Sturt. So if you Paul Thomas, he might go, all right, let's not try and win the game from here. Let's just stake the back line because percentage-wise, we're in unless we give up another goal or 2. So very interesting how it will shape up this weekend.
It's an amazing finish to the season.
Oh, it's incredible.
Really, really exciting. Start of the week as well. We mentioned before 2 draws in one round of footy. Have you played many draws?
I can't remember if I've ever played in a draw. I don't think I have. Have you?
Yeah, I've played in one draw where we played against Glenelg at Glenelg, and it was Justin McConnell who kicked their goal after the siren to draw.
Wow.
And we were heavy favourites as well. It's the most deflating thing. It probably felt worse than a loss, I reckon.
Well, which is interesting because
it's a strange situation.
So you had to kick out the siren to draw.
They did.
Okay.
So they had to kick us. So they celebrated.
I was going to say that would have been horrific for you guys. For them, still weird though because you celebrate, but then not a win. So it's bizarre.
It's one of the perks of our great game.
Yeah.
We will play out a draw. All right, time now for our top sport tips. Mans, I had to really go for it last week to try and catch you. The draws absolutely undid me. So you are 3 ahead going into the last.
Yeah, so we got half a tip for each of the draws. 2 draws put us up to 2, but yeah, the draws certainly didn't help you last week. So I'm going to go first on all 5 this week to give you an opportunity to potentially peg back the 3, maybe 4 and hit the lead. We'll see which way you go.
I appreciate it as well being a gentleman because if I was going first and you just agree with me on everything, then you guarantee to win.
Yeah, it'd be all over. But we'll start with Eagles and West. Now, again, we've mentioned the Eagles' form on the weekend was rather incredible and it's different to how they played this season and West Adelaide's been in every game. I think that back at home, they have a really good record against West Adelaide, the Eagles, so I'm going to go with the Eagles in this one.
All right, well, I'm going to go for West Adelaide, and I was always going to go for West Adelaide because we've said it all year, they're right on the edge of doing some really good things. If they won this weekend as well, they would actually, they're still going to finish with the spoon. That would tip them off nicely as a successful season.
Yeah, it would. They knew this year was a building year, so it's all about developing into next season. And you want to take some really good form. There's nothing left to play for, so might as well have a good crack in the last game. This game, however, there's plenty to play for. It's Central's taking on Port. It is at Ex Convenience Oval. I'm going to back Port in to win this game, though. I just think that Port Adelaide, with their AFL listed players, they need to get up to make finals. We know that the power is going to be there at the pointy end. So I'm going to go with Port Adelaide in a bit of an upset, I think.
I thought you were going to say Centrals with a bit of home ground advantage there. But for Port Adelaide, who knows who they get, who they lose as well.
Yep.
Razia Fantasia was very good. But They're only going to get stronger because Dante Vizentini probably comes back.
Yep.
It's not Dante if he goes in the AFL, then Sam Hayes comes
Correct.
back in, so they're going to be strong. But purely to try and keep my tips alive, I'm going to say Centrals.
I like
what
it.
I will say to back that in is that Central's very, very strong at Elizabeth.
They are, and so I like that you've picked your former clubs there. You've gone West Adelaide, you've gone Centrals, the first two tips. Let's see if that can hold you in good stead. This next game, Glenelg taking on South. Glenelg, if they win this at home, they will wrap up the minor premiership. South Adelaide, not a lot to play for. A disappointing year. A draw on the weekend at home against Port. Look, Glenelg, they'll bounce back. They're leading into the finals. They know that they win this, they have a week off. So they might have had a lull on the weekend, but let's go all in for the last game of the year so that we can give ourselves that week off and be ready to catapult forward from there. So I'm going the base.
Yeah, I'm going the base as well. I've got to be somewhat intelligent about this because, like you said, there's so much to play for. And you want that winning momentum going into the finals, particularly when you've got the week off. So Bays reasonably comfortably.
This one is a huge game. We know that North Adelaide taking on Stir at Prospect will be massive to see who can get into that top five. And for the Double Blues, amazingly, there's still a chance to win the minor premiership. Now, they would need to win by about 20 goals and Glenelg to lose. So it doesn't look like that's going to happen, but you never know. I'm going to pick North Adelaide here. I think that they're going to get those names back that we mentioned in Alex Spooner, in Aaron Young and Campbell Coombe. I think that with their season on the line at home, they'll bounce back with a win.
Right, I'm going to have to go for Sturt, just for the sake of trying to get myself back into the tipping competition. And I'm going to say Sturt because probably the same reason as Glenelg. You want that winning momentum, particularly if you are going to finish in the top three. But then, like you said, if they do win, who knows? Anything could happen.
No, exactly right. And so it's going to be a very interesting game, this one, and definitely watching the scoreboard around the venues at this game here. The last game of the round is Norwood taking on Adelaide. It is at Norwood Oval. Look, both teams have been in pretty good form. Norwood's form stacks up the last 4 weeks. They've won 2 games, they've drawn one in there as well. Adelaide won their last 6 though, so I'm not going to tip against Adelaide. I'm going to back Adelaide in to win and still be a chance to win that minor premiership if Glenelg does lose.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Norwood. This is going to be the big one. This will be the big one. Why? Just because.
So do you actually think Norwood will win that game, or do you think Adelaide will win that game?
I think that Norwood will win that game, and I wonder what's going to happen AFL-wise this weekend for the Crows.
Okay.
Do they make changes?
Yeah.
Do they give blokes a bit of a go just to see what happens? They're not going to have Shane McAdam in the team. He's had surgery on his cheekbones, so there's some changes coming, and does that mean someone like Lockie Gallant gets a go? We know that they're already undermanned, so I think that's going to be interesting. I'm going to back in the Redlegs. And just before we go as well, big shout out to Matty Broadman and Matt Rose from South Adelaide. So finishing up with the Panthers this year, 2 great players who have had fantastic careers. Matty Broadman, of course, in the AFL as well, but really, really good club servants. Time now for my multi, thanks to the good folks and our good friends at Top Sport. 3-leg multi just to finish us off in the regular season, you men. So I'm going to go with West Adelaide to beat the Eagles.
Ooh, a bit of value there, I like it.
Right off the top. Plenty of meat on the bone for that one, as they say in the punting world. I think that's what they say.
Yeah, they say something like that.
Centrals v Port, I'm going to back Centrals. And then the obvious one for me is I'm going to tip Glenelg over South. So at least 2 games there where you can get some really nice value for money.
You certainly will. West Adelaide, Centrals and Glenelg there. Let's hope that no draws cost us this week in the multi. And what a great last round of footy we're going to have in the SANFL season. It's going to be very interesting to see whether North Adelaide makes it, whether Centrals make it, or whether Port makes it. So enjoy this weekend of footy.